Alright guys, welcome back to the channel here. Today's video for the Boss GT-1000CORE, I want to take you through how you can set up your Boss FS-7 or any of the Boss Footswitches in particular. And this will just allow you to be able to set up assigns and use them. And you already have the onboard CTL1 here, but adding an extra Footswitch would give you CTL2 and CTL3. So it will just open up more versatility and the option of assigning more effects to your patches. Now, if we take a look at the FS7 itself here, you'll see that it is quite compact in its form factor, and you have your standard CTL2 and CTL3 up here. You also have two indicator lights for when they are on or being pressed. You have a green for the B side and a red one for the A side. If we flip it around here, you'll see that we have the polarity switch as well as the mode switch, and the mode switch has the latch or momentary, all depending on which mode that you want to use. Remember that the latch is your standard foot switch where one press is on and the next press is off, whereas the momentary is when the engaged effect is only activated as long as you hold down the foot switch. The polarity mode, I don't really know much about that, but you will find out which polarity mode suits your unit in the owner's manual, and you will match it on the foot switch to correspond with that. If we take a look at the FS7 from the rear here, you'll see that we have a DC input on the left-hand side here, and you can connect your power supply or adapter to this input and have the LEDs activated. But the FS7 here can also be operated as a passive, so if you do not connect any power to this, the LEDs just simply won't work, but you'll still have the full functions and operation of the foot switches here. As you'll see underneath here, we have an A and a B, and underneath the B port here, it actually says A and B. And this is, for example, the A and B you're using if you have two devices or effects on your pedal board, a looper, for example, or a distortion pedal. So you send one of the outputs to the looper to control the play function or the overdub, and you send the other output to the distortion to control a hold function or add a certain channel from that overdrive distortion, for example. Now, with the A and B labeled under the B socket here, this means that if you are using the FS7 with a multi-effects like the GT-1000CORE here, you want to insert your cable into the B option here because it will take care of both the A and B outputs. So it will enable you to use both the foot switches within one single unit. If you have any questions or doubts regarding this, you can also find the owner's manual with your purchase of the FS7, or you can go and find it online. But just to show you, here is one of the diagrams where you can actually see what the things are doing here and how you can connect them. So that just says that you have the A and B up here, which you can connect to either two different type of effects here or straight to just one single unit, and as well as the overall outlay of the different features on it, as well as the polarity and mode switches here, and it is just explained in the detail here. And you have your main specifications for it here, and as well as the polarity and what it will do without connecting the AC adapter to it here. So you can always go in and check that out, guys, and have a look at it if it's featured with your purchase of the FS7. Now, in order to get it all worked or set up correctly here, we need a certain cable. We need what is called a TRS-jack here, and it consists of a tip, a ring, and a sleeve. And we need this in order for the B socket with both the A and B foot switches to be attached and be able to send those informations to the GT-1000CORE in this case. So a stereo TRS-jack cable is what you will need in order to connect it with your unit. With your cable here and both units in place, the overall connection is actually pretty simple. You take your FS7, you select your desired input. In this case, for the GT-1000CORE, you're going to select the A and B socket on the B input here. So we're going to connect our TRS to that. and the other end simply goes into the GT-1000CORE. And you'll see that on the core itself here, there are a few different input options here. But over here on the furthest right hand side, just next to the power in here, you'll see that it says CTL 2 and 3 and expression 1. So this is where your external expression pedal, or in this case the FS-7, will go in. So as easy as it is, you just take your TRS cable, plug it in here, and once that is all done, you are set and ready to use your FS-7 along with your GT-1000CORE. I've now just fired up the GT-1000CORE here, and as you remember, the FS-7 over here is connected. I have not connected an external power supply to this one, so you won't see the LEDs flashing up. But if you want to, you can simply connect it from your power supply or the recommended adapter for the FS-7 here. But I just wanted to show you that with it connected here, it is also working. So if we press the effects button here and we go into our effects, we'll see that the B side here is set to control the master delay over here. So once I press that, you'll see it activates. And let's scroll back here to the beginning of the chain. With the A side up here, you'll see that it takes us into the tuner mode, which is pretty cool. And you'll see that the CTL1 by default is set to change the divider, so it switches between the two preamp chains there. So that's pretty cool. However, if you wanted to go in and adjust or set it up differently, you would have to press the menu over here, and you would have to go into your control assigns here, and then you have your control function over here, which we can head into. And on the menu here, you should be able to see that we have on the first page the down, up, and CTL buttons. And you can see that the CTL is by default set to divider channel. So if you wish to adjust or change that, you simply use the dial under here and just select a different thing. So FX3 in this case. If we go to the next page over here, you'll see that we have the same for CTL2, 3, 4, and 5. And on the last page, you have it for the expression 1 and 2. So if you want to change it from the CTL2 and 3, you can go in and do that. Simply turn the dials again, and you'll be done. And that way you have your FS-7 set up and you have adjusted it in your GT-1000CORE in order to act the way that you want it to. And see the control function menu here as a way to go in and easily set up an effects block to be activated on and off. Then if you want to go deeper, go in and change parameters or different values, you'd have to use the assign setting here on knob number 2. And in here you have your available 16 assigns where you can go in deeper and custom and then just tailor your different assigns to whatever you might like. You could, for example, while the compressor is added, you could go in and adjust its sustain from 50 up to 75. You could change the amount of reverb, the overall level of your delay, whatever you might fancy. And that is done with the assign matrix here, because it will allow you to set off different values and parameters, and that is how you would go in and do that. So with all that set up, guys, we are basically ready to enjoy the full potential of the FS-7 in conjunction with the GT-1000CORE here. So with things just hooked up here, we are all set to go, and you can now take full advantage of using the FS-7 here in conjunction with your Boss GT-1000CORE. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this little tutorial helpful, and I'm sure that it will open up a whole new world for you and allow you to get additional assigns and controls set up. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video, and in the meantime, take good care of each other, and I'll see you around.